to We Give the People What They Want. We have a full slate of NFL games to get you ready for. We have a critical game in the Eastern Conference Finals to get you ready for, but we start with last night's pivotal Western Conference Finals game between the Lakers and the Nuggets. The Lakers held a lead wire to wire in this one, and LeBron James, nearly a triple-double, had 26, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. The Lakers were in control. However, at the end, the Nuggets made a run, and LeBron James made a move on the chessboard defensively. What was that, and why was it so important, Jalen?
The move on the chessboard is letting Frank Vogel and your teammates know that I want to be the guy that guards Jamal Murray, because he's a terrific offensive player and so smooth when he gets going. He made multiple shots. They were just fantastic plays, including the up and under around LeBron. So to be in your 17th season and to accept that challenge, it really revitalizes your teammates on that end of the floor. And so all of a sudden, everybody else got to get down in the defensive stands. You got to try to get deflections. You try to get steals. You got to try to have activity, because you see your Hall of Fame player is doing the exact same thing when it matters the most in the game.
It was such a key point in the game, because watching this game, the Lakers felt like they were in control, but we've seen the Nuggets snatch victory from the jaws of defeat so many times in this postseason. And at the end of the game, with about 3 or 4 minutes left, I was thinking to myself, is this going to happen again? Are the Nuggets about to even the series? And LeBron James had some critical stops. One thing that happened on the other end of the floor that I want to point out that was so key for the Lakers is when the Lakers set up their roster, the first thing Jalen pointed out is just how big they are, just how big everybody on the team is from point guard to center. And that really manifested itself last night with the offensive rebounds that they had to extend possessions, to give them extra possessions when they miss, and then they get the rebound, they kick it back out and use all those 14 seconds to extend the game. I thought that was really key for the Lakers. Do you think they can continue to do that in this series and the finals if they make it there?
Yeah, playing tall ball. You got Dwight out there being active, coming in off the bench, getting offensive rebounds, dunking them back in particular in the first quarter. He didn't miss a shot. AD in the first quarter, he didn't miss a shot. He even got hit in the eye and all of a sudden does a jab step and makes a jumper. He got injured and fell down with an ankle. He was dealing with some aches and pains. He still battled through. So those are the type of things you want to see from your bigs in particular, getting those second chance points, putting you in position to cripple the defense, because those hurt, Jacoby. You feel like you played good defense and all of a sudden they get the offensive rebound. They got these pogo stick tall guys, and then all of a sudden they spraying it out for somebody to get a jump shot.
Jalen, you and I have been celebrating the stretch mark 5, Nikola Jokic, for so long now. It feels like years and years. However, we do have to point out Nikola Jokic, the key to the Nuggets' victories, had 0 points in the fourth quarter, only had 16 points in this one. Seems like he's getting 30 in every single playoff game that he puts sneakers on for, but he only had 16 last night and 0 in the fourth. What did you think the key was to stopping and limiting Jokic?
I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. How many have in the fourth?
0 points in the fourth quarter. You're a guy. See, I'm a guy easy fan. I'll just jump off the Jokic bandwagon. No, 16 points in the whole entire game. I can't remember a playoff game that he's gotten less than 20. I can't remember one.
They did a good job defensively, Jacoby. I want to give them credit. And they made him uncomfortable. They contested his shots. They pushed him off of his spots. But he had a couple of shots that he normally makes that were bunnies that he just missed. You know, his soft touch, little runner and floaters, his little jump hook. So I thought he scored. I thought that said 16 in the fourth quarter.
No, that's not what it says.
That ain't what I saw.
That's what we're used to seeing, but that's not what you saw.
That, huh?
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, Jalen, I fear that this series is not going to go 7. I fear that the Nuggets are not going to complete a third 3-1 comeback. So while we have the time, let's celebrate what Jamal Murray has done in Orlando. Because Jamal Murray has really put himself on the map as I'm not going to call him a superstar because we don't use that word very much around here, but he is truly a star, and he's established the two of them as a great duo in this league. What have you seen from Murray in Orlando that you want to celebrate?
I want to celebrate his gracefulness once he gets going. Like, it's effortlessly. He shoots with he shoots effortlessly from deep, Jacoby, contested. And then when he drives to the bucket, just think about it. That 360 around Rudy Gobert, he cleared the big fella and twisted it on the same side of the rim. The up and under versus LeBron, like that's great footwork. He did another one during the game where he kind of jump stopped and stepped through. And at the park, we would have called travel. And then they did the replay and was like, no. In today's game, that's a slide step. And yeah, absolutely. So I want to celebrate not only him being prolific, but his grace. In particular, once he gets hot, he's become one of my favorite players to watch when he started making buckets.
Finesse is a word that I will use with him. And like that Gobert and that LeBron, those buckets that we were talking about, it feels like he just jumps in the air and figures it out from there. Like I don't even think that was the plan when he left the ground, but he's just got such good body control that he can finish. Moving on to the big Eastern Conference Finals game tonight. In Game 4, we saw the Miami Heat limit the Celtics using a defensive strategy. What was that, and do you think they will bring it back?
It's a full court 2-2-1 zone at different periods of the time to take a couple of seconds off the shot clock initially. Then it morphs into a 2-3 zone where every time it goes into that corner, you see Jimmy Butler and Jimmy Butler and Crowder at the top. And then you swing it to the wings. You want to protect Hero. You want to protect Duncan Robinson. You want to protect Dragic. You get that activity up front, take the basketball out of the middle of the floor, force the Celtics to a side of the floor, allow Bam to be in the middle and be a rim protector. The Boston Celtics have to find a way to get the basketball to somebody in the free throw line area and play mid-range. Either knock down that 15, 18-footer, spread to the left or the right corner, or attack the front of the rim. That's what they're going to need to do. I anticipate that happening. I'm going with Boston tonight.
I am fully on the Miami Heat bandwagon. And you know what? I just picked up the Heat like 3 months ago, but you can't tell me any different. I love this team so much. And do you know what I love even more than the players on the floor and the culture? I love
Eric
Pat
Spoelstra.
Riley. I love the orchestrator. I love the maestro. I like the man calling all the shots. And I know Pat Riley is looking at this NBA Finals potential matchup and saying, you know what? I didn't like the way LeBron left Miami. I felt like I did so much for him that he didn't do enough for me on the way out. And I think that he's got an eye on what's happening in the Western Conference Finals. And I think that he really wants to get his vengeance. And I can't wait to see that potentially happen. Tonight you have the Celtics. I have the Heat. Again, you were wrong about last night's game, and you will be wrong about this one because the Heat don't lose more than one game every single series. Moving on to the gridiron. We've had our eye on the Cleveland Browns because they have so many stars. They just don't
Cleveland,
produce results.
this is for you.
Odell Beckham says that he probably won't have huge numbers this season. Jalen, we have a sentiment for Odell Beckham's situation. What exactly is that?
Free OBJ.
OBJ.
Free OBJ. Because here's the thing, Jacoby. Let me tell you what DeAndre Hopkins ain't walking back to the huddle thinking. That he won't have huge numbers this year. You know what I'm saying? He's not
That's
thinking
a great
that.
point.
He's not thinking that. And so this is Odell conceding that my situation, led by my quarterback, as it trickles down to the rest of my team and my offense, they're suppressing my game. So I'm telling my fantasy owners, I'm telling my family, I'm telling my friends, I'm decompressing right now. So don't give me the anxiety. Don't give me the depression. Don't make me upset when there are going to be games where I have 3 catches for 25 yards. I know it's going to happen. I'm getting ready for it.
And we always say that success and happiness are a function of realistic expectations. And this is Odell Beckham Jr., not just for us, but also for himself, just lowering those expectations. And you know what Odell Beckham Jr. is saying, and all Giants fans are saying, that no one has ever said before? No one's ever said this. Man, I wish we had Eli Manning. No one has ever said that. But Odell Beckham Jr. is now saying, oof, you know what? I was complaining and I was kicking equipment and I was upset when I was with the New York Giants, but I was also scoring touchdowns and I was getting over 1,000 yards receiving. And he's looking at Baker Mayfield. He's saying, you know what?
On the cover of Madden.
Just like everybody else that's a Cleveland Browns fan or in the Cleveland Browns organization, everyone's looking at Baker Mayfield saying, I don't know if you're the guy. I don't know if you're the guy. I think that's fair to say at this point. Don't you think so?
I do, because in my big fantasy league, somebody tried to trade me Jarvis Landry. I was like, I'm good. I'm good.
No.
And that's my man from the U. I'm a huge fan of his. At first I was like, man, I'll try to pick him up. Then I was like, nah, Baker is quarterback. I'm good.
Jalen, we have some extremely important news that matters. Jalen, first of all, I would love to congratulate Joel Embiid on the birth of his first child. He posted this on Instagram, and something really caught my eye. Look at him. Look at how beautiful he is. He's just feeding his baby Arthur. He said, first of 11 or more. Now, Jalen, I have 3 little children, and I have a message for Joel Embiid. Dog, if you think that you look tired in the fourth quarter of those playoff games, if you think that was tired, wait until you have 4 kids. Forget 11. Wait till you have 3 kids. You don't know tired. You have fatigue issues, my guy. Let's be honest. You have fatigue issues and conditioning issues, and having lots of kids is not going to help either of those. That's my message for you. Enjoy Arthur, but let's not get ahead of ourselves, Joel. Do them one at a time.
And I know Jarvis Landry went to LSU for everybody out there about details. Here's the thing. Joel Embiid isn't talking about the kids, Jacoby. He just got married a couple of years ago. And take it from somebody that has not been married over 15 years. He's talking about the process. Like AI would say. He's talking about practice. Not a game, not 5, not 6, not 7. I want her to be open to practice.
Jalen, no one has said the words "the process" like that before. I appreciate doing this show with you. You're the best. Make sure everyone stay tuned. We're going to be...
They had to win. We're not about to talk about facial hair. Keep it moving.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
It is Gruden versus Belichick.
Hit
Carr
the
versus Cam.
break.
Carr versus Cam in Foxborough. You and I love what Cam has been doing with the Patriots. Can they get the win against the undefeated Raiders?
I love the young development of what Gruden's able to do with the Raiders with their skill position players. I'm happy to see Cam not only be a runner, but also be a passer in this system. This is going to be a big-time game. I am curious to see if the Raiders D can slow Cam down. The Patriots get it done.
Ooh, I also believe the Patriots will win this one. And Jalen, you know I'm a die easy fan, and I'll just jump on bandwagons of random teams whenever I want. This year, I have picked the Buffalo Bills as my team. I'm a lifelong Bills fan. I'm part of Bills Mafia. I love the Bills. I love McDermott, and I love Allen and Diggs. They face off against the Rams. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
We're going to hit the brakes.
Jalen. Stephon Diggs feels like every time he puts fancy cleats on, he gets 2 touchdowns. It seems like he just looks so good in that Bills uniform. Him and Allen have such good chemistry for only playing together twice, no preseason games. Can they get the win over McVay and Goff and the Rams?
I believe so. The problem is Jalen Ramsey's on the other squad, so is Aaron Donald. And you know what your guy Josh Allen needs to do? Protect the football. He fumbles a lot, Jacoby. And those 2 ball hawks may exploit that this weekend.
I also just want to recognize that not all running quarterbacks look like Jalen Rose. Some of them look like me. Moving on. We have Deshaun Watson against Big Ben.
Hit the
Raiders,
brakes.
Texans. I'm sorry, Steelers, Texans. Oh, we're hitting the brakes on this one. What do you expect from this one? Can the Texans get their first win of the season?
I expect a quarterback that does look like you, Ben Roethlisberger, play the same style as Drew Brees and Tom Brady, other pocket quarterbacks. This is what makes Josh Allen different, not the norm, because Josh Allen, plays like Deshaun Watson and the mobile quarterbacks. I agree with you. So that's who I'm picking, that guy right there. The way Clemson played against Alabama's NFL defense, that's how he's going to perform against the Steelers. And you know Mike Tomlin is my guy. But I just don't want to see Deshaun go 0-3, so I'm picking him.
I don't want to see him go 0-3 either. And Jalen, Ben Roethlisberger is a great quarterback, and he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. But when you said that he looks like me, I took it as an insult. He's not a handsome man. He's a lot of things, but Ben Roethlisberger is not a handsome man.
All right, what about with his
hard
shirt
to
off?
take down, quarterback, hard. Oh, he probably looks better than me with his shirt off. Quarantine's been tough. Moving on. My guy Joe Burrow and the Bengals going up against all of a sudden under fire Carson Wentz in the battle of the winless. Who's going to come out with a win?
These teams got to talk to us. We're going to keep it moving. These teams got to talk to us after they get a win.
We keep it moving.
Tom Brady suits up against the Broncos. Hit the brakes on this one, Jalen. Locke went down last week. I have absolutely no idea who's the quarterback of the Broncos. I don't think John Elway knows either. He might be quarterbacking for the Broncos this week.
I'm going to make this real quick. No Von Miller all season for that Broncos D. This is where Tom Brady gets going fantasy-wise.
All right. Jalen, the marquee game of the weekend
Hit
in my
the brakes.
mind is the Dallas Cowboys against the Seahawks. The Cowboys barely won last week against the Falcons. They could go into this one 0-2, but they're 1-1. Can they somehow, some way beat Russ and the Seahawks?
I'm just here to put some respect on the quarterback-coach combination of Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, how they drafted DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and how Carson's one of the best, three-down backs in the game, and they've always kept a physical defense that had multiple Pro Bowlers at each level. And then they acquired Jamal Adams in the offseason, and he's going against the Cowboys, who I remember him riding down the street, and somebody was like, yo, come home, dog. Come play with us. And he like, yeah. And he ended up in Seattle? Oh, I'm going with the Seahawks.
I think that the Seahawks are going to make a run this season. And you mentioned Pete Carroll as the coach, and he's known as a defensive coach, but not just a defensive coach. He's known for coaching the secondary specifically, and to give him, who is, in my opinion, not just one of the best safeties in the game, but one of the best defensive players in the game, it just doesn't seem fair. I love Adams with the Seahawks, and I love watching the Cowboys lose. Moving on, Jalen, I never thought I would be saying this, but Drew Brees has been getting a lot of criticism. Drew Brees is getting a lot of criticism, and they go up against the Packers. If Drew Brees plays poorly on Monday, are we really going to go on to this show and talk about whether they should consider replacing Drew Brees at some point this season?
Well, Drew Brees, first and foremost, ain't going to be playing defense. And so the way Aaron Rodgers been looking earlier in the year, that's may be their problem. Okay. Now, on the other side, if no Michael Thomas, Drew Brees may look like he struggles. But they got to continue to feed Kamara. He was a dual threat last week, and I know he put up big numbers. He has to be the guy they lean on.
Jalen, you and I have collectively picked a team that we are 100% all in on, and that
hit the brakes
is the Arizona Cardinals, and we will discuss their Jalen, you are tuned in to ESPN and Jalen Jacoby, but from time to time we turn it into the Cardinals News Network because we love Kingsbury and we love DeAndre Hopkins and we love Kyler Murray. But this week they go up against your hometown Lions, the same Lions that have disappointed the great city of Detroit for decades, the same Lions that ruined the career of one of the best to ever run the ball, Barry Sanders, one of the best to ever catch the ball, Calvin Johnson. Is this the week where you watch the Lions and you actively root against them because you love the Cardinals that much? Jalen, it's only the right thing to do. Do the right thing. Don't abandon the Cardinals. Abandon the Lions. Who will you be rooting for in this one?
Wow, I see how the Curry family must feel when they attend these games and they have kids on both teams. This is tough. No, it's not. The Lions all day. I'm diehard. We can't be going 0-3 out here in these streets. Let's go, Matt Stafford.
Oh, you're going 0-3. Oh, you're going 0-3. Oh, you are definitely going 0-3.
And you get to drink water out of things like this, Jacoby, like kings do.
That's a flower vase. Look at the opulence. You're so rich. You don't even use cups. You don't drink out of anything that didn't cost less than $100. You are so rich. Jalen, I want to talk to you about something very important. I want to talk to you about Paris, France, and the French culture. They're known for their cuisine. Ooh. They're known for their fashion. And when it comes to fashion, people always sleep on a haircut. And on the streets of Paris, if you want a haircut, do you know how they advertise the haircuts they will give you? How? They put a picture of Jalen Anthony Rose right there on the street. Look at you. They got your face on the streets of Paris being like, come on into my barbershop. I will let you walk out of here looking like Jalen Rose.
People, what they want. We international and the authentic. Shiz Porter. What up, though, Hawk? Shout to B. Hess. I was in the movie Barbershop. I was in Fab Five saying we can't get a fade every day. Now y'all see what it looks like when I can get a fade every day. That's
Jalen,
love.
Just think about a young Jalen Rose going to Paris with the Fab Five and not enjoying it. And now an old Jalen Rose is permanently in Paris. Enjoy all the sports this weekend. We will be back on Monday on ESPN 2 at 2.